Hello, welcome to week 3. Thanks so much for tuning in. Just a couple of explanations of this week's tasks. You'll start out on the updates page, which is where this video will appear, and then you'll go to materials as usual. And if you look at the overview and pacing guide, it's pretty simple this week. Deceptively simple, because most of what we're doing this week is writing using evidence. It's actually most of the skills you're building in social studies. They're very similar to language arts skills, but the materials you're using are social studies ones. This week I have put an overview of what we're doing below the chart, so you can just kind of get your head wrapped around it in the beginning. It's all about using primary and secondary sources to learn things about early civilizations. So on Monday, you should think about participating in our pre-thinking discussion. You don't have to do any research on this. This is just for my survey to see what you know in the first place compared to what you know at the end. So just answer using your critical thinking and you'll be set. So you'll just post in that discussion, PEAL format, but otherwise you're fine. You don't need to have any additional stuff in there. Just answer the question as best you can. And then you'll start assignment, oops, this is wrong, I'll change this. It should be 3.1, which is secondary sources from ancient civilizations. So you'll actually just be watching some videos about that, some crash course videos. They're pretty fun. Then you'll finish up the assignment 3, oh no, that's right. Sorry, 3.1 is this one. So 3.2 is the first assignment. 3.1 is your discussion. So you can just go in order. Then 3.3 is this one, primary sources from ancient civilizations. Respond to each other in discussion 3.1 by Wednesday, at least one time. And then finish assignment 3.3. So that's the one on primary sources where you'll be looking at some documents. And then you'll do a findings report quiz, which is a resumable quiz because what you're actually doing is writing some paragraphs for me about it. Okay, and then you can finish that up on the weekend. So let's take a look. We're going to talk about changes that happen when agriculture becomes a huge success, how it leads to civilization. So we shift from the Neolithic to the Bronze Age, and people have all kinds of things happen because they have so much food. And you both already did a fantastic job of discussing that chain of cause and effect in week 2. So I have no doubts that you will be able to get these. But lots of things arise: cities, specialization, hierarchies, the state. When we mean government, when we say the state, we don't mean like the state of Colorado. We mean like the city-state of Ur in Mesopotamia. So state means a national government in this sense. Trade routes, specialization, where people are able to have specialized jobs. You've probably heard of that before. And we're going to look at some maps. So let's go back to the main week. And the first one is this discussion. What is a civilization? So I just want to know if you kind of have an idea what a civilization is already. I know you know what the words mean because you both have great vocabularies. But what makes the difference between a society that's a civilization and a society that is not? That's just kind of pre-thinking again. You don't have to research. Then go to the next thing, which is assignment 3.2. And you're going to look at your sources. Okay, so there's this one, a reading, what is a civilization? And there are 3 wonderful sources here. It will open up your own document with your name on it. And you're just going to fill out this note catcher to gather your resources, gather information, which is what historians do. Okay, so you're going to fill out details. The more detailed, the better. And remember the difference between claims and examples. Claims and evidence, you want to use evidence. So you want detailed discussion of religion, science, the arts. So you're talking about three things: people's relationship to the environment, which is their economic organization; people's relationship to each other, which is their political and social organization; and then people's systems of ideas. So that's religions, values, the arts, science. So anything in those videos you can get for each of these. And try to have at least one thing, if not more, for each part of the table. Okay? Then we will go on to the examination of primary sources. If you remember, secondary sources are things historians have made after the fact. Primary sources had to come from that actual time, from the actual people. So you'll be looking at these documents here. So there are 3 of them. I'll get these extra tabs out of the way so you can see. It's the same. I've got some examples here for you. And the documents from Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt are going to show you some interesting things. So here's the Mesopotamia primary sources document. And it is some verses from these actual civilizations. These are some of the oldest sources in history. It's so cool. I love it. Okay, so check that out. See what you can learn about their lives. So long ago, and we can read their writing. It's unbelievable. Okay, and then Egypt. These are some documents from Egypt, and there's praise for the pharaoh's new city. Remember, the Egyptians love to build beautiful new things. There's some advice from a father to his son about how to be a wise man. And then there are some math problems. So I hope you can identify with these. They're pretty cool. They're about students in ancient Egypt, and some of the advice they get and some of the struggles they have is similar to yours. Finally, you're going to look at artifacts from the Indus Valley. We don't have any writing from there, as you'll find out, but we have their excuse me, we have their artifacts, and some beautiful artifacts that are really mysterious. Maybe one day you guys will get to work on the mysterious Indus Valley, because we're still trying to figure out exactly who they were and what they thought, because we can't read their writing. Okay, so you'll fill out that chart as well, and then you will be ready to go on to the findings report. Now, this is a resumable quiz, so don't feel like you have to do the quiz all at once just because it's called a quiz. Here you go. And there are a couple of questions about your findings. And I'm not going to go too much into them. And then there's your end of the week. So the emphasis this week is totally on writing. It's on writing. That is the point. To work on writing the way historians do, which is looking at all the evidence available and then coming to some conclusions. So let me know if you have any questions. Enjoy the videos. They're really fun. And yeah, just practice being a historical writer. Thanks a lot.